Hello guys and welcome to another video. This video I'm going to show you guys what happened to Moto 1 and how excited I am for the new Torchlight season of Lunaria. So they added new things called modules. Those are basically mobs that you turn into your own. They're basically, if you know Path of Exile, they're the specters from Path of Exile. You get them a little bit in a different way in TLI, so I'll show you guys in a bit how that looks like. But it's gonna be absolutely insane for Moto 1. They're counted as synthetic troops, and they have their own other tags as well, like individually, so I'll show you guys in a bit. So they also have Magnificence and Nobles, which are the support skills for the skill specifically. Which most likely we're going to be end up taking this Modular Station Resonance, which is 68% additional damage if you have 68 command value, which you should be having most of the time. Then we're going to probably end up taking either this Compress, Modularization Noble Compress for more aggressiveness and additional damage. The minus size is a little bit annoying, but it should be alright. Or we end up taking this if we can make it work with Blades, but Blades is nerfed because we lose move speed. But then I have something else for that as well later, but I'm not really sure if we're gonna go for that. Because we can, if we go Blades, we can use Edgy Necklace, which is basically permanent blinking anyway, so you don't care about losing a little bit of move speed. But you're gonna feel it a little bit for sure, but we'll see if we can make this work, if we can get a skill that we can hit an enemy with 15 times in 2 seconds, then it might be a good way to go. But I guess we'll see how the season goes. For now, I'll think about this one. Plus 41 additional damage, which is huge. So the way to obtain them is you take a note in this talent tree, the Profound Talent Constellation. You basically have a 1.6% chance when you kill a native otherworldly boss, which I'm assuming if you go into a map and you take all the boss nodes, you have a 1.6% chance to get one of the module skills from any of those bosses that you kill. If I understand correctly. If not, then it's going to be really hard to farm if it's just the only last boss in the map that if you kill that, you have a 1.6% chance of killing that. Or if it's Watchers only, and it's a 1.6% chance, we can expect the modules to be super expensive and probably really almost impossible to get really good rolls on. And the rolls I'm talking about are these, for these skills, like this. These are the different skills from the, if you go to TLI-DB, these are the different skills that you can see. You can see the tags, what they have. If you hover over them, you can see the base damage that they do, and some have special abilities, like special extras. Like here it says, deals attack fist damage, 90% base, blah, blah, blah. Gain a buff when casting this skill, minus 25 additional damage dealt by enemies within 10 meters. So this Ground Slam would be really good if you're, I don't know, want some tankiness, but you get it every 10 seconds. I'm assuming the cooldowns are affected by cooldown reduction, but I'm not 100% sure, or if you use a wind rhythm. So maybe a wind rhythm on some of these could be really insane. My eyes is on this, either the Trog second general, which is probably going to be very good with Iron Bloom for multi-strikes. If they affected by multi-strike, which they should, because it's an attack-based skill. This could be very, very good for early game. But my eyes are on for Spellcaster, for Spell Burst, Minion Spell Burst. Like I love my Grim Phantoms. So this Einherjar Elder Sage, if you get this dropped, this has a Divine Judgment, where you gain a buff casting the skill, you get lucky damage and plus 60% additional max damage for 4 seconds. And if you put a Wind Rhythm on this, you can probably get it to like 5-second cooldown. So basically 99% of the time, or 90% of the time, let's say, you're gonna have 60% additional max damage plus lucky damage on your abilities for your, which is basically this Javelin of Judgment, which is a spell. So we can spell burst it. And if you remember, I showed you here these 3 things that comes in handy now here, because if you can stack 3 of them, that means you can get plus 3 max spell burst on your abilities for your minions. Which, if anyone has ever played MOTO 1 with the Red Herders build, that might absolutely be insane. So if we get insane amounts of cast speed and attack speed for ourselves and Wind Rhythm, and yeah, I don't know, it's just gonna be absolutely insane if you think about it. I don't know, like either the scaling is different, or you can't stack 3 of these. But if you can't stack 3 of these, you still have good combinations with spell burst. Like spell burst here, you have haste here for move speed and attack speed, cast speed. Agile is good, attack speed, cast speed for you and your allies. So there's a bunch of other options if you can't stack 3 of them, but in the video it literally shows 3 right here, so you know, it could be insane with this. And then MOTO in general also got some buffs. There's a new hero trait, which is Overload Effect. You get insane amounts of Overload Effect instead of max life and size gained. They get a lot of effect now, like an Overload Effect. So basically you want to start stacking a lot of Overload Effect and just boost your Overload as much as possible. I did read the other traits, but I feel like they are not as good. This could be okay, but I don't think it's going to be that good. It's mostly for if you want to make a MOTO that does damage by himself, which is also now a possibility. You can also make a MOTO that you can play without minions, but I let someone else cook that. Like, my brain is not that big. I'll let someone else cook that. I will try to make it as best as possible to make a MOTO 1. I'm 100% million guaranteed starting MOTO 1 this season. This is my gear from the season that I played MOTO 1. It's a little bit overkill, but I did try to carry people in City 7 with it. That's why it's so overkill. And a lot of the things are going to change, which would be some of the rolls on the weapon, for example, because we don't want +4 beams. We don't care about that anymore. You don't need to have this stacked of Lone Walkers. We still want to go for armor effective rate, because I think that still might be the best defenses. So 2 items with armor effective rate, with a Dream Affix with armor effective rate. I have a build guide as well for MOTO 1, which is not super up to date, but it is up to date from T7s. So from T7 upwards, I will update it once the season starts and once I get there myself, because there's still too many questions and doubts about how the modules are going to perform. But overall, it looks super insane with how much damage changes. And there's also the hero memories. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The hero memories that we can get the special skill for MOTO. It should be here. This is what I meant. This is to make the MOTO do self-casting, basically. But yeah, anyways, on hit you get an additional 4% overload effect, stacks up 30 times. And it's cleared after you cast your trade skill. Which basically, if you attack 30 times in what is it, like 8 seconds with your minions, which you have 4 minions max, maybe 2 if you use mechanical modification. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good season for MOTO 1. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I mean, I gotta show you guys as well. Like, look at the skill from the Trogs. Look at this. Imagine you have 4 of those running around with smaller size, but they're doing the same damage, if not more. Or just 2 big ones. And scale it with multi-strike and all the other extra stuff you can scale it with. I didn't show with the scaling here. You can see the skills here. So this is where you scale damage. This skill specifically scales with spell, lightning, projectile, horizontal, and int. So technically you could go a bow with projectile damage, and spell damage or other stuff on it, and this would boost this if you use isomorphic arms. So yeah, I'm super excited for the TLI start. I can't wait. This is definitely a Moto 1 season for me. I'm happy they finally buffed my character. So I hope I see you guys at the start. See you there.